Hi, I'm Tony, and today we're going to learn all about batting. Before I get into the meat of batting, I want to say that a lot of the battings I'll be showing you today are by Quilter's Dream, which is the brand that I mostly use in the batting. I do want to say, though, I am not sponsored by Quilter's Dream. I purchased every bit of the batting I'm going to be talking about today, and I do not endorse one batting over another at this point. If that changes and I do endorse a certain batting and style, I will then say below in the comments. But as of the filming of this video, I do not endorse any particular batting over another. So let's get into some definitions. First up is loft. Loft may be the number one thing you're thinking about whenever you're considering different kinds of batting, other than the fiber, other than what it's being made out of. That's the first thing you want to consider. But the loft is the definition where you may go, wait, what is this? You see low loft, mid loft, and high loft. That all it is the thickness and how puffy your actual batting is. The loft, again, is the thickness. So a low loft is a thinner batting. It's easier to work with. It's easier to quilt, but it's not going to be very thick whenever you're looking at your batting. All batting that I use in my quilts, if you've seen any of my quilts, is a low loft because it's easy to use. It's thinner. I also don't like big puffy quilts. So I use a lot of low loft. A mid loft, as you see, is a medium. So it is, as you see, these are the same exact size. So these are both twin size. In fact, everything I'm going to be showing you today is a twin size in a package. You can see the difference because this is a thicker. It takes the same amount of space, but it's a thicker batting, and it's a mid loft. I don't have any high loft battings because I don't use high loft battings. But a high loft is going to be a much puffier, thicker batting. Another term that you may see on packaging is the drape. The drape is how it lays. If it says it drapes nicely, that means it's going to drape nicely onto the thing. Think of your clothing. If you have nice drape, you may have a flowing thing that hangs nicely on your body. So it's basically just how it's going to lay and hang in your finished project. Simple as that. Scrim is Scrim is another term, that I couldn't understand for many, many years. I was like, well, what is scrim? Why do I care about it? Scrim is basically how it's almost like a stabilizer that they put over top of the batting whenever they make it. It's important because the batting itself is more stabilized. It holds together better. But if you're quilting or using something else in a blanket with this batting, it may be hard to sew through. So you may get a little gunk on your batting, you may get some residue, you may get other things on there. So if you're new to quilting, you may not want to use a batting that has scrim or residue. If you're an experienced quilter, of course, you may be used to it. You can start braving those types of things because the benefit of using a stabilizer is you can do all sorts of little tiny quilting and little designs in here, and it's not going to break apart that batting. But if you're looking for a very simple something, for a new project or something else, you may not want to use it if it has any scrim. The packaging will actually say right on there, no scrim, if it has no scrim on there. So this is a good thing for newer quilters. Now let's take a look at the fiber content of batting. First up is cotton. Cotton is a more traditional batting when it comes to quilts because it keeps you warm. It's very warm, but it's breathable at the same time. You can machine wash it and dry it. Now, as you wash it, it is going to get crinkly, so it gives it a more antique style look with the cotton. I don't use cotton, and I'll get into that later when I show you the one that I use, But if I were to make a more traditional quilt, I probably would choose cotton for that one. It is easy to use. It's nice. Some companies will use scrim on their cotton. Some won't. So make sure you read if you decide to use cotton for your project, and if scrim matters to you, make sure you read the labels to see if there's scrim on there or not. Next up is polyester. Polyester is really, really different from cotton in that it's not very breathable, so it doesn't keep you very warm, but it doesn't wrinkle at all. So it keeps its shape better. It also comes in medium and high loft, so it tends to be thicker. So if you want to show off your quilting stitches, you want to have a good piece for artwork, polyester may be the way to go. It is also good for allergy sufferers. You may be allergic to wool or cotton or other things, but I don't know of anyone that's allergic to polyester. So there's a couple of different reasons why you may want polyester in something. Again, it doesn't wrinkle. It's not very breathable. It holds the shape better. But no, think about also words. Words are hard. Is over time, the more you wash polyester, the more it may break down and separate. So this is more for, I like polyester more for projects that are going to be showcased. They're going to be shown off versus just in a traditional quilt. So the third traditional type of batting is wool. I don't have any wool because I don't use it, so I don't have any to show you. And I forgot to purchase a sample package to show you for this video. But basically, wool is a lot warmer than cotton, definitely a lot warmer than polyester. So it could really keep you warm through those winter months. It has a higher loft than cotton, but you wouldn't want to use it during the summertime because it is breathable, but it does really keep you warm. The fiber content of wool means that you can machine wash it only in cold water, but never, ever, ever put it in the dryer. If you put a wool quilt in the dryer, it will separate the batting. So it is something super important to keep in mind. It is easy to quilt. It is easy to work with. So if you like the thought of a thicker loft, but you don't want the small issues that come with polyester, wool may be your choice, but keep in mind, never put it in the dryer. Ever, ever. If you have a quilt and you don't know what the consistency of the batting is, don't put it in the dryer just to play it safe. And that's one of the reasons why I don't use wool, because I do sell a lot of my finished quilts. And so I don't want to put that onus on the person. Now let's get into some of the specialty stuff as well as the blends. Blends are my favorite. So I actually prefer blends. You have 80-20, which is an 80% cotton, 20% polyester, or you have the 70-30, 70% cotton, 30% polyester. The benefits of the blends, and every single one of my quilts that I make or that I sell, I use a blend, either the 80-20 or the 70-30, because it has the benefits for both cotton and polyester. I find that it is breathable like cotton, so it actually helps regulate your body temperature, so you can use it year round. It keeps you warm in the winter and cool in the summer, but it also has the stability. It allows for less wrinkles, and you can get those higher lofts. The 70-30 that I use has a mid loft. So as you can see, this is the 80-20 versus the 70-30. The 70-30's got that higher loft. The 80-20 is a lower loft. 80-20 is what I use most of the time, but then sometimes I just feel like a 70-30. It's the best of both worlds. Now, it is not as soft and cuddly as 100% cotton. So you do get those people that insist on the 100% cotton, which is fine. It's a matter of what you feel. My suggestion is if you are deciding between cotton and a blend, get a sample of both and use both and decide which one feels better for you and what you like. Some other ones you may find is bamboo. Quilter's Dream has a blend called the Orient, which is a blend of silk, bamboo, and cotton. Bamboo is basically an alternative to cotton. It has a lot of the same exact properties as cotton does, but it's a more renewable resource because bamboo is easier to grow. Now, it is a little bit harder to create and import and everything else, so you may find that bamboo is a lot more expensive than cotton. But if you're concerned about renewable resources and you like the mix that it can do sometimes, so in this case, it's mixed with silk. This is a more luxurious and softer, and it feels even better than cotton does. You may want to take a look at it. I actually love to purchase the Quilter's Dream Orient when it's on sale. When they have those special sales, I'm like, I am all over that, because I don't like to spend that extra money, but I do like the idea of the bamboo and the Orient. By the same token, if you're concerned about renewable resources and the environment, you may find batting like this, which is made from completely recycled plastic bottles. It is an earth-friendly, it is completely 100% plastic bottles. So because of this, it is a polyester. So it's going to have the same exact traits as a polyester blend, or polyester batting. There's no blend at all, just polyester. But it's 12 inches apart that you can quilt. There's tons and tons of benefits to this. So if you like a good polyester batting, you can consider one like this that is a lot better for the environment. And then, of course, you have the very special flame retardant. The flame retardant batting has a special coating on it, so it won't burn at all. This is good for cases where you're concerned about that. If your quilt's going to be hanging at a show as a display, if you're concerned about fire, especially children. If you're making quilts or projects or things for kids, you may want to consider the flame retardant one. The Quilter's Dream calls it the Angel, because they think it's specially, they promote it for kids stuff. Because it is flame retardant. It's batting. I'm trying to let's see, it's cotton. I'm looking at the actual thing. It is, flame retardant fibers. So it says it has a wonderful look and feel. You can use it for hand and machine quilting. It looks like it acts like a blend, like a cotton polyester blend for the retardant, for the fire retardant. The other last one that you may see is the fusible. So it is a batting that has the fusible. I'm trying to think of the applique, fusible applique. There we go. It basically has the glue that's right onto there. I like to use this for projects that I'm concerned about it puckering as I'm quilting, and I want to make sure that stays down. All of the batting for these projects hanging right here were made with fusible batting because as they're English paper piecing, and I did not want them to move at all. So that is something that you may want to do it. The fusibles are 80/20s a lot of times, depending upon your company, and may be different. But the fusible from the Quilter's Dream that I use is an 80/20, which is what I'm using anyways. The only thing different is it has the glue on there, so it's easy to then iron and hold into place. But keep that in mind whenever you are sewing through it. It's going to act just like if you were doing applique because there is glue, so it may gunk up your needle unless you use a special needle like the Schmetz needles that I absolutely love that I'll recommend down below for things like this. So hopefully this batting tutorial helps you understand the differences between the different fibers of batting, as well as some of the terminology. If there are any other videos that you would like me to make to help you navigate the quilting sewing world, please let me know. Don't forget to like this video, follow my YouTube, as well as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and don't forget about Twitch, where I stream live and you can interact with me as I'm sewing.